Welcome to the CareClinic pod. I'm Emma, and this is Jones.
Wow, this is a big one. 1 in 10 women experience PCOS.
Yeah.
And fatigue is a major symptom for many of them. It's that feeling of being just completely drained,
Oh, absolutely.
That just won't go away.
It can be so frustrating,
Right.
wanting to understand, why am I always so tired?
Yeah,
What
exactly.
can I do about it?
And that is exactly what we're going to unpack today.
Yeah.
We're going to dive deep into the connection between PCOS and fatigue and give you some practical strategies to reclaim your energy.
That's right. And, it all comes back to these hormonal imbalances, which can have a big impact on your energy.
For sure. Now, just to clarify, PCOS stands for polycystic ovary syndrome.
Right.
It's a hormonal condition that affects how a woman's ovaries work.
Exactly. So the ovaries don't always release eggs regularly, and that can lead to irregular periods.
Oh, okay.
And it can also cause higher levels of androgens.
Androgens, those are the male hormones, right?
Yes.
And having too many can lead to things like excess hair growth or acne.
Mm,
And of course, we can't forget fatigue.
that's right. The focus of today's episode.
Now, a lot of people might not realize that there is actually a strong connection between PCOS and something called insulin resistance.
Yes.
Can you explain what that is?
Sure. Insulin resistance basically means that your body isn't using insulin as efficiently as it should.
Right.
Insulin is like a key that unlocks your cells to let glucose in,
Okay.
which is our body's main source of energy.
So if that key isn't working properly,
Right.
then the glucose can't get into the cells to be used for energy.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that can leave you feeling totally drained and exhausted.
Like your body's engine is just sputtering because it can't use its fuel.
Perfect analogy.
I like that one.
And to make matters worse, a lot of women with PCOS also experience those really heavy periods.
Oh, yeah.
And all that blood loss can lead to iron deficiency, anemia,
Right.
which is another major contributor to fatigue.
It's like a double whammy.
Yeah, for sure.
But don't worry, because we're about to jump into some seriously effective strategies
Yes.
to combat PCOS fatigue,
You'll love that.
combating PCOS fatigue. But first, I just want to remind everyone that the CareClinic app is a fantastic tool for tracking your symptoms
Absolutely.
and staying on top of your health journey with PCOS.
It can be so helpful to have all of your information in one place.
Yes,
And you can even share that with your doctor.
exactly. Okay, so let's get into those strategies.
Oh,
Where should we start?
well, I think we should start with diet.
Great.
What we eat plays a huge role in how energized we feel, especially when it comes to PCOS.
Okay, so what are some dietary changes we can make to fight that fatigue?
It's all about finding the right balance.
Okay,
A diet rich in low-starch veggies,
like
like leafy greens, cauliflower, things like that,
Yum.
make a huge difference.
what about carbohydrates?
Yeah, those are, okay.
Okay.
Focus on complex carbohydrates.
Really?
Quinoa, beans,
Okay, so low starch veggies, complex carbs. What about protein?
lean protein sources are your best bet here.
Okay, so like,
Fish, poultry, eggs, plant-based options,
right.
and the occasional grass-fed beef.
Okay, so basically half your plate should be low starch veggies.
Yep.
A quarter complex carbs, and then the remaining quarter lean protein.
Exactly. Balance is key.
I love it. Sounds delicious and balanced.
It is.
How often should we be eating?
Aim to eat every 4 hours or so
Okay.
without snacking in between.
Okay.
That can really help to stabilize your blood sugar levels.
Oh, okay.
Keep those energy crashes at bay.
That makes a lot of sense. Snacking would definitely throw things off.
It can. And so can skipping breakfast.
Oh, tell me about it.
It's so important.
Really is.
Think of it as a jumpstart for your metabolism.
Okay.
It helps to balance your blood sugar early in the day, sets you up for success.
I love that.
Setting you up for success.
And if you combine that with some exercise,
Yes.
no more than 90 minutes before or after.
Yes. Unstoppable.
Unstoppable. That's what we like.
That's what we want.
Okay, so we've got our balanced meals covered. What about hydration?
Water. Staying hydrated is so important for energy levels.
It's true, we often forget.
We do.
So how much water should we be aiming for each day?
At least 8 glasses throughout the day.
Okay.
Might seem like a lot, but your body will thank you.
It will. And remember,
Yeah.
you can use the CareClinic app to track your water intake.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've covered food, hydration. What about movement?
Yes. Exercise is crucial for beating fatigue.
It is, but remember,
Yeah.
exercise doesn't have to mean hitting the gym for hours on end.
Exactly. Find something that you enjoy
Yeah.
that you can do for 30 minutes, 3 to 5 times a week.
Yeah.
Consistency is key.
Consistency is so important.
It is.
And it doesn't have to be intense to be beneficial either.
No.
Even a brisk walk can make a difference.
Absolutely. In fact, speaking of brisk walks,
Yeah,
they're a great way to incorporate more movement into your day.
absolutely.
You know what else is fantastic for boosting energy levels?
With that?
Getting enough sleep.
Oh, sleep is essential for everyone.
It is.
But it can be especially challenging for those with PCOS.
Right.
Those hormonal fluctuations can really disrupt our sleep patterns.
You're right. Sleep and PCOS often have a complicated relationship,
Yeah.
but there are things that you can do to improve your sleep hygiene.
Okay, like what?
Well, a consistent sleep schedule is a great place to start.
So even on weekends, we should try to stick to the same bedtime and wake-up time.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
I know it can be tempting to sleep in on the weekends,
It is.
but a little consistency can go a long way.
Right.
Another important tip, avoid screens before bed.
Oh, that's a tough one.
I know.
I'm definitely guilty of scrolling through my phone in bed.
I understand, but that blue light emitted from phones and laptops can interfere with your sleep cycle.
Oh,
Try reading a book or listening to calming music instead.
those are some good suggestions. What about the environment? Does
Yeah.
that play a role in sleep quality?
Absolutely. Creating a relaxing bedtime routine can be really helpful.
Okay.
A warm bath, some light stretching,
Yeah,
or even just dimming the lights
right.
can signal to your body that it's time to wind down.
I love that. Creating a sense of calm and peace before bed.
Exactly.
What about food and drinks? Are there things that we should avoid before bed?
Yes. Definitely avoid heavy meals or caffeine
Okay, that makes sense.
before bed.
Yeah, heavy meals can make us feel sluggish, and caffeine can keep us wired.
Exactly. And speaking of caffeine,
Yes.
that's another thing that can impact your energy levels.
Okay.
A lot of people rely on caffeine to get through the day,
They do.
but it can actually backfire, especially if you have PCOS.
So should we just avoid caffeine altogether?
Not necessarily, but it's a good idea to be mindful of your intake,
Okay.
especially after midday.
Are there any good alternatives to coffee
Yeah.
that can provide a gentler energy boost?
Green tea is a great option.
Green tea. I love green tea.
Contains less caffeine than coffee,
Yeah.
and it has some additional health benefits as well.
And it's so refreshing.
It is.
And, everyone reacts differently to caffeine.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important to pay attention to how it affects you personally.
Absolutely. And the CareClinic app can be really helpful for tracking your caffeine intake
Right.
and seeing how that correlates with your energy levels.
That's a good point. Now let's talk about supplements.
Yes.
Are there any supplements that can help with PCOS fatigue?
Well, Inafolic alpha has shown some promising results in managing PCOS symptoms,
Okay.
including fatigue.
What is that?
It's a combination of myoinositol and dechirioinositol,
Okay.
which are naturally occurring substances in the body that play a role in insulin signaling.
So it can help to improve insulin sensitivity,
Exactly.
and that can lead to better energy levels.
Yes.
That's great. Are there any other supplements that might be helpful?
Vitamin D and iron are also important, especially if you're experiencing anemia due to those heavy periods.
Right. And I know we've talked a lot about managing PCOS on our own,
Yeah,
but it is so important to seek guidance from a healthcare professional.
just absolutely.
They can help you figure out,
Yeah,
the right supplements
right.
and dosages for you.
And they can also rule out any other underlying medical conditions that
Mhm.
might be contributing to your fatigue.
It's always best to get personalized advice from, a qualified healthcare provider.
Absolutely.
It's like having a health detective on your side.
Exactly.
They can piece together all the clues and help you get to the root of the problem.
Precisely. And we've covered some great strategies today for managing PCOS fatigue.
Mm.
But professional guidance is crucial for making sure you're getting the most appropriate care.
Yeah.
Remember, everyone's experience with PCOS is unique.
That's such an important point. There is no one-size-fits-all approach to managing this.
Absolutely not.
It's all about finding what works best for you.
Exactly. And we're here to provide you with the information and support you need
Yes.
to navigate this journey.
Yeah. It really is encouraging to know that we have that power,
Yeah.
to make those positive changes
Mhm.
and reclaim our energy.
We do.
We don't have to let PCOS fatigue control our lives.
Absolutely not. And with that empowering thought,
Yes.
I think we've reached the end of our discussion on PCOS and fatigue.
We've covered so much today.
Yeah.
From understanding those hormonal imbalances and how they're linked to fatigue
Mhm.
to all those practical tips for boosting energy levels.
Yeah,
I think we've given our listeners a lot to think about.
I agree.
and act on.
A lot to act on.
We talked about the importance of a balanced diet,
Right.
staying hydrated, exercise,
Yeah.
sleep, being mindful of our caffeine intake.
Mm-hmm.
And we've also highlighted the value of supplements
Yeah.
and seeking guidance from those healthcare professionals.
Exactly. It's been a really insightful conversation.
It has.
And I hope our listeners feel empowered to take control of their health and well-being.
Me too. Remember, managing PCOS and fatigue is a journey,
It is.
but it's a journey that you don't have to take alone.
Exactly. There's a whole community of support out there,
There is.
including resources like the CareClinic app,
Yes,
which can be a valuable tool for tracking your symptoms
absolutely.
and staying on top of your health goals.
Like having a personal health advocate
Exactly.
right in your pocket.
Right in your pocket.
So to our listeners, we encourage you to embrace a more energized and empowered you.
Absolutely.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of the CareClinic podcast.
It was a pleasure being here.
We're here to support you every step of the way.
Until next time, take care.
And stay energized.
Stay energized.